A single silver coin kept Rome's entire military machine running for over 400 years. Until it didn't. Here's what most people get wrong about ancient Rome. They think the empire fell because of barbarians, or plague, or bad leadership. But walk through the economic ruins and you'll find something far more interesting. The real story is written in metal. The denarius wasn't just money, it was the operating system of Roman power. And when that system broke down, Rome broke down with it. Exhibit 1, around 211 BC, Rome needed a standardized currency. Before that, they'd relied on barter, on trust, on whatever metal happened to be lying around. It was chaos. The denarius changed that. It was roughly the size of a dime, made of high-quality silver, and stamped with the face of Rome's leaders. A Roman soldier knew exactly what his paycheck was worth. Think of it like this. Imagine if your employer paid you in something different every week, sometimes gold, sometimes copper, sometimes promises. You'd never know if you were getting ripped off. The denarius solved that problem. For the first time, a Roman laborer, a merchant, a soldier, they all knew the rules. That predictability, that's power. Exhibit 2, the denarius became the backbone of military payroll. Rome's legions were expensive. A single soldier cost the empire roughly the equivalent of a year's wages for a working person. Multiply that by hundreds of thousands of troops spread across 3 continents, and you're looking at staggering costs. But the denarius made it manageable. Soldiers knew their pay. They could trade it, they could save it. Trust in the coin meant trust in the state. That's the hidden mechanism nobody talks about. Armies don't just need weapons and food, they need certainty. If soldiers thought their pay might be worthless tomorrow, they'd desert. Rome understood this. The denarius wasn't just currency, it was the contract between Rome and its military backbone. Exhibit 3, the denarius standardized trade across the entire Mediterranean. Before the empire, if you were a merchant in Egypt and wanted to sell grain to someone in Gaul, you'd need to negotiate exchange rates, worry about counterfeits, try to figure out if that foreign currency would be accepted anywhere else. The denarius changed that. One coin, everywhere, accepted. Imagine being a merchant in 150 AD in some port city. You didn't need to wonder if your payment was real. You didn't need to test it, weigh it against local standards, or find a money changer. The denarius was Rome's promise, stamped in silver. That trust was worth more than the metal itself. But here's where the story gets darker. Around the 3rd century AD, something shifted. Rome faced wars on multiple fronts. The empire needed more soldiers, more weapons, more everything, and the treasury was emptying. So the emperors made a choice. They started diluting the denarius. They kept the same size, same design, same name, but the silver content, cut in half, then cut again, and again. It's like if your employer kept paying you the same number of dollar bills, but each one was secretly worth less. At first, nobody noticed, but eventually everyone did. Merchants started demanding more denarii for the same goods. Soldiers realized their paychecks were worth less. Prices spiraled. Inflation hit hard. The system that had held the empire together for centuries was collapsing, not because the coin itself was gone, but because nobody trusted it anymore. This is the crucial part. Rome didn't fall because money disappeared. It fell because money stopped working. The denarius had created an entire economic ecosystem, trade networks, military logistics, tax collection, trust. When the coin lost its integrity, the whole system fractured. Exhibit 4, the denarius remained in circulation for over 400 years. That's longer than the entire history of the United States dollar. No modern currency has held that kind of stability and trust. It's a testament to how powerful a well-designed system can be, but it's also a warning. The denarius didn't fail because it was a bad idea. It failed because the people managing it lost discipline. They prioritized short-term needs over long-term stability. And when trust erodes, no amount of stamping the same design on the coin brings it back. The lesson isn't about ancient Rome. It's about how currency works. Money is fundamentally a story we all agree to believe. The denarius was that story for the Mediterranean world. As long as people believed in it, it worked. The moment they stopped, the moment they realized the coin wasn't what it claimed to be, the whole system unraveled. So when we look at the denarius today, we're not just looking at an artifact. We're looking at proof that economic systems are fragile. They depend on rules, on honesty, on the belief that the people running them won't exploit them for short-term gain. Rome had that for centuries, then it didn't. The denarius defined Rome's economic power. It kept soldiers paid, merchants trading, and an empire connected across thousands of miles. It was one of history's most successful currencies precisely because it solved a fundamental problem. How do you get millions of people to trust the same medium of exchange? Rome figured it out. and then Rome figured out how to break it. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe. Each week we break down how the systems that run the world actually work, from money to markets to the mechanics underneath. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.